And today, I am hosting a man. As I told you in the last hour, for those of you who've been following this show, this is the kind of person who you will have a very good show today. Leo show imekuwa sawa, you have reached the clouds. Alafu kutane naye hapo nje uambie manzi leo nimekuwa na show poa, akwambia sasa next Sunday and you back to zero. Unaona pale unarudishwa kutoka 1 nini mpaka 0. And this is the gentleman I'm talking about. Today I'm hosting RFM CEO Mr. Steven Maina Njenga. Karibu sana sir.
Thank you very much. Chote imekuwa kubwa sana. Thank you very much Uncle Mike Baker for hosting me. What do I say?
You're not hearing yourself.
I 1 2 microphone testing. Okay, I think let me hope so. Thank you very much for hosting me.
Yep.
And I'm so happy that you came up with this idea of I would say letting our listeners know who we are over and above being behind the mic. So thank you very much, and I feel honored to be one of the people that are here to be hosted by you. Thank you.
It's such an honor, sir. And probably at this point naweza tu taka kujua before I even get there, allow me to say this. For a company to stand, for a company to be successful, there are people who are very important. And the people who are very important in the sustaining, the day-to-day, behind the scenes of the success of any company is the management and the head of the company. Because if that man loses the vision, there is no company. And that's the reason why today I get to celebrate you, sir, because the work you have done over the last 2 years is the reason why, and we actually have this moment together. And so thank you very much for the work you have been doing. I am honored and I'm so glad to have to be working with you and to work under you.
Thank you very much.
So let's just get to it, sir. Probably tell us a brief background. Who is Maina? Where were you born? Give us a background kidogo tukujue zaidi ya.
Okay, we thank God and all glory and honor to Him for all the things that He does to us human being. I usually say, and I'm a stark believer, that God is a God of order and a God of okay. 1 2 mic check. Are you still okay? Okay. So saying God is a God of honor. God is order, and God is a God who has His own plans. And one thing I've come to realize in life, that God cannot give you a vision and give you the knowledge to implement that vision. I hope you get what I'm saying. And that's
I'm trying to.
That's why, Mike, I know when you are not married, and I can see the difference when you got married. Because probably your wife brought in something in your life that was not there before. So how does God work? God works in this way. And that's why Moses, and I'm not preaching.
It's okay. You're on the Spice Show. Here you can preach.
That's why Moses, he was given the vision of rescuing the children of Israel from Egypt. But the people who went to Canaan, was it Canaan? Yes. The people
hapa ndio tunajuaga wale waenda kanisa.
So someone else took over from Moses.
Yeah.
This is what I'm saying. We have our chairman Njoroge. God could have chosen you, could have chosen me, could have chosen
true.
to give him the vision of starting a radio station. But he chose Njoroge. But also Njoroge had to let go and say, I will not do everything.
Yes.
I want to bring in people who can do what I am not able
to do. Yes, sir.
I hope the Holy Spirit will
the revelation.
Yes, no. Maina Njenga, Steven Maina Njenga. Yes, that's my name. And that you isn't about kwa kitambulisho. I'm born in a family of 6, whereby I'm the firstborn. And Secondly, I was born in a place called Dabureti. And that's where my dad and my mom were working. And then my dad originally comes from
Limuru.
Yes.
So okay.
What had happened is that my dad had moved from Limuru to Dabureti for greener pastures. You know, as a young person and all that.
Yep.
So when I was born and my second born sister was born, we were brought partially in Dabureti. Actually, I started schooling in Dabureti. I went to a nursing school. Tulikuwa tunaita ya Magere. That's the only thing I can remember. Nursing school. And then went to a primary school called Gong Forest Primary School up to class 3.
Yep.
And then for whatever reason, my mom and dad decided to shift to Limuru. Of course, my dad to come to his home, called ancestral home.
Yep.
And that's how I ended up in Limuru. I went to Pinodori Primary School, started from my KCPE, then went to Ngenia High School. I started from my KCSE. From there, I joined Kenya Institute of Management, and then I started working here and there, and eventually I found myself at RFM.
Wow. I see someone here is telling me the sound is not yet good. So let me work on that as we listen to this one song. And then when we come back, we are going to get to hear the story from there. Umesikia tumefika hapi? Tumefika high school sasa. We are going to continue from there and see how this man became the Maina Jabadito, you know. Right here, playing right here on the Spice Show. Let's listen to this song. It's by Rebecca Soki. It's called Baraka Zangu. Let's go.
EMB Records.
Mara mingi moyo unakata, hata damu unashindwa kusukuma. Nikiwaza mengi nimepitia, ila imani ndiyo inanisukuma. Napata kizunguzungu sana, ninapata kizunguzungu. Sometimes maisha inakuwa ngumu sana, hata nimekosa nguvu, lakini nakumbuka ahadi zako, ahadi zako. Tena nakumbuka matendo yako, matendo yako. Uko mwaminifu, ukisema unatenda. Wewe ni mwaminifu kwa ahadi zako. Zile baraka zangu Bwana, zile baraka zangu. Na zile baraka zangu Bwana, zile baraka zangu. Na zile ahadi zangu Bwana, zile ahadi zangu. Shughulika na hali yangu, nimelala sakafuni kwenye baridi, mateso mengi. Shughulika na hali yangu, najua Mwokozi huja mapema wala huchelewi. Nimehaswa miaka kadhaa, nimetoka na jasho nikitegea.
Chapter.
Tena kama Daudi, tena kama Esther. Baba nakutegemea, Mungu nakutegemea. Zile baraka zangu Bwana, zile baraka zangu. Na zile baraka zangu Bwana, zile baraka zangu. Na zile ahadi zangu Bwana, zile ahadi zangu.
Yes, and that is Rebecca Soki with Baraka Zangu. And like I told you before, kama hii mwaka ulikuwa umeprofesa ukasema hii ni mwaka yako, na unaangalia saizi unaona yenyewe yenyewe hii ni mwaka yangu, wacha nikwambie, Mungu hasahau. Mungu huwa hasahau. He's not a man to lie. He does not forget. And because he is faithful to fulfill that which he said he would, his word never goes back to him void. And you're listening to that one right here on The Spice Show on 99.9 RFM. And today, I am so honored to have a very special gentleman. He's not just my boss. He's also a man that I look up to in life. And I will be telling you, we'll be sharing kidogo about that. And Mr. Maina.
Yes.
Sasa najua mambo imekuwa sawa.
Sasa 1 2, yeah.
All right.
Sir. Yes, thank you once more.
Uko tu sawa kabisa.
Good.
And I know, najua, I was telling guys last week, kuhost radio host ni kitu ngumu sana, by the way, because anajua kuoperate kila kitu.
Yes.
And so today we get to celebrate you, sir, right here on The Spice Show, because you know, I mean, you do an outstanding job. You're the reason why we come here and we work so hard to make sure that this dream keeps going, and that this dream never stops. This dream, it's a dream that is continuous. Haiishi ati kwa ndoto kwa kitanda. We continue with the journey. And so thank you very much. And thank you very much to also MC Gotoko. Uliniambia hapo sauti kidogo iko sauti kidogo iko kimende, sawa. Sasa nafikiri imerudi.
Atatuambia.
So you grew, you were born here, you were born in Dagoretti.
Came to
Limuru.
Yes.
And now your journey continues from there, and my desire right now is why radio?
Okay.
Why radio? Like, you know, as in kitu lazima ikuwe ilianzia hapo huko. Sio hapa.
Okay.
Hii ni manifestation.
Good. So you know, every child when he's growing up has his own dreams. Unakumbuka unataka kuwa nani? Unataka kuwa driver wa basi. Unataka kuwa nani? So okay, for me, I think when I was in primary school I was not really sure what I wanted to be.
Yeah.
I have my uncle who I like so much, went to campus and was working for the less privileged in the streets and slums of Mukuru and Mathare. He's called Uncle Paul.
Yeah.
Wherever you are, Uncle Paul, I salute you.
Yes.
So when he cleared campus, I think I was in class 6 or 5, and then immediately was employed by an NGO that was working with the less privileged in the slums of Nairobi.
Yeah.
So when I grew up, when I was in primary school, I wanted to be like him. So I could listen to stories of how they would go out rescue street children. Sometimes the challenges, sometimes the sweet stories about their mission. So I wanted to be like him.
Yeah.
And actually I'll tell you later that I worked for a number of NGOs.
Yes.
But when I joined Ngeni High School, I think there was a shift of really what I wanted.
Yes.
And then I had two things that I wanted in my life.
Yes.
I wanted either to be a lawyer, of course that was number one, that was the priority.
Yes.
Or a journalist. I wanted the two.
Yeah.
But when it came to mass communication field, I really didn't know what I really wanted. because I was also a very good writer, by the way.
Yeah.
I have participated in a number of writing competition. I have some certificates, do I say?
Yeah.
In high school.
Okay.
So I really didn't know what I really wanted. I wanted to pursue.
Yes.
But then when I cleared school, I joined Kenya Institute of Management.
Yep.
While I was still in school, college. I met a friend. He's called Billion.
Yeah.
And Billion introduced me to an NGO.
Yeah.
That I started volunteering hapo kidogo hapa na pale. But then I got bored.
Yeah. You got bored.
Yes, I got bored because we were volunteering. We used to,
I can imagine.
you know, voluntarily. Yeah. And then I was not inspired because it was about identifying women who are in abusive marriages and all that. So it was taking a toll of me because I'm still very young. I don't know what.
You don't know what. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I can imagine. You cannot relate with it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So then the beautiful thing about NGOs, and I'll talk about the power of volunteerism later.
Yeah.
Is that when you're in that field, you meet other people.
Yeah.
You know, not necessarily working your own NGO, doing what you're doing in your NGO, but of course doing other things.
Yes.
But in the field of the NGO world. So I happened to meet a lady who introduced me to another NGO called NOPE. And I'll tell you the story of NOPE, National Organization of Peer Educators. So I joined there. At least for them, we used to do HIV and reproductive health for adolescents. Now that was relating with me because I could meet young people. We could discuss things about young people and all that.
Yeah.
So that's where I would say I now started working kabisa. I used to get some money.
Yeah.
I worked for NOPE for about, I think, 2 years. And now what happens with the NGOs is that when funding comes, uko kazini.
Yes.
Ikiisha, uko inja. So that's how now I worked for NOPE and then worked for Kenya National Human Rights Commission. That was amazing work.
Yeah.
I learned up to date. We were monitoring IDPs during the 2007-2008 post-election violence.
Yes.
So let's go back to NOPE. I met this man called Njoroge, our chairman.
Yes.
And I was his boss.
Wait, in NOPE you are his boss?
Yes, I was his boss.
Okay.
Because in NOPE they used to do a program called Global Fund Round 7. And they had a structure whereby in Limuru, I was in charge of Limuru and another lady called Lynette. So Kinanjoro, they were in art and music and all that.
Yes.
And used to do something we call outreaches. You know, go out to VGG na mtaa huku.
Yeah.
Bring people together, tell them HIV is real. Use I don't want to use some things here.
Yeah, I remember because actually during that time is when me and Mr. Njoroge met. Because sasa since alikuwa anatuita tunakuja tunaimba wimbo mbili, tunapeana sweetie, tunapewa 400 tunaenda home.
Yes, so I was in charge of I was actually assisting that lady called Lynette. So Njoroge, the artist, the people who are doing peer education and all that, they were under me. So I met Njoroge, we became friends, and I want to thank a lady who was the programs manager for NOPE called Grace Getao, who was a very amazing lady. I think were it not for her, atungepatana na Njoroge. Yes. So Njoroge is a good guy. He has his brother. They're doing collabos, middle, left, and center. They're doing. By then they had an energy, my friend.
Yeah, I remember.
So of course I spotted him, and so we started our conversation and all that. So one thing led to another. I left the NGO that I was working for. That is NOPE, and I also left Kenya National Human Rights Commission. Nikaingilia ualimu, by the way.
Walimu like kwa darasa unaingia unafunza.
Kwa shule ama kwa shule, by the way, because after I cleared form 4, by the way, nimeruka kidogo. After I cleared form 4, kabla niingie college, nilikaa like 2 years. My dad could not afford to pay for my school fees. So lazima ninge hustle. So niliingia shule nikaanza kufunza. I was very good in Kiswahili and English in high school.
All right.
So nilienda shule moja nikaambiwa unaweza kufunza Kiingereza, nikasema ndio. And by the way, I'm very proud because some of the students I meet them because English literature up to today is my thing. So nikaanza kufunza English literature and all that. So nikamaliza nikaenda the NGO world, then nikamaliza na stories za NGO nikaenda back to kufunza. So what happened, I think I went to a school that was not in line with what I believed.
So the school you went was not in line with what you believed.
My principles and what I believe.
I want you to pause on that because we shall be coming to that part, that segment of life. That one. Principles and beliefs. Tutarudi hapo.
Yeah, so it was in Nyahururu. So I didn't like how the you know, like the students were being treated, how they could. Okay, it didn't work for me. So I just resigned. Fortunately, I got another appointment in another NGO. And now this NGO was doing a very good project. It had a lot of money and all those stuff, but it was crazy. It was crazy for me. I'm a young man. I've started dating. I'm planning to get married. And it's taking all your time and energy. Exactly. Ukiwa kwa nyumba umeanza kuwatch ka movie ati sasa kumekuwa usiku unasikia masimu, go back to your laptop, this report, blah blah blah, all that. Sunday we didn't have Sunday. By the way, had a lot of money, but didn't have Sunday. And you know, I've come to realize now that you should work for a passion. Passion should be the driving force. Let passion make money for you, but not money to make you like something.
Ladies and gentlemen, did you hear that? I want to take all these moments because they are very key. Let passion work for you
and make money for you.
Let passion make money for you, and not
money make you like what you're doing. Because I think for me, the driving force then was I wanted money, but I didn't like what I was doing. Yes.
Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, today I'm speaking with RFM CEO, Mr. Stephen Maina Njenga, a gentleman. You have heard him. You have heard his background. Hadi hapo tumefika. I'm sure there is something that you're learning and picking up. On this Celebrate segment, I told you, get a notebook, get a pen. Pick up the things you learn something from this. Because some of the nuggets this man is throwing to you is something you can live a whole life with. So you cannot miss this one out. You cannot, usisikize tu na masikio ya kusikiza radio. Note something, because these are life nuggets that you can live and base your whole life on. Mr. Maina.
Yes.
I have hadi hapa tumefika. I have seen, now I understand. Unaona venye you talk to someone and there is a light, a bulb, you know, because I've been wondering, how is this man able to do all these things na bado anaendelea kufanya? And I've seen I've learned something with you, and that's something about consistency. And despite the fact that project iliisha, you didn't stop it there. You went for the next one. Job ikaisha, you didn't stop there, you went for another one. And that speaks a lot about you. And that's the reason why I'm so proud to celebrate you today. And let's just go on. Now, you are here in radio. Did you ever think at one point you would, of course, with all those experiences, with all that experience from one NGO to the next, of course, it develops you as a man. It develops a lot in you. And I'm just thinking, when you go to RFM, because I was here when you came, did you ever think at one point you would be RFM CEO?
No, actually. So, quickly. So, I continued working in this NGO. And then I got married. And I was not fulfilled. Because I could wake up in the morning and ask myself, what am I going to do again? The same thing, it was a monopoly.
Where am I going today?
Fridays were the best days for me. Because that would mean that tomorrow I'm not coming to work. Sundays afternoon, like at a time like this, wow, the worst days for me.
Ukikumbuka pale unaamkia kesho.
So one day I woke up and I told my wife, enough is enough. I'm not going to work. But then, like 2 months before, we had met with Njoroge in the streets of Limuru.
Yeah.
Na nataka you know how he speaks.
Yes,
Nataka tuonane, kuna kitu nataka kwanza. Kuna kitu tunaanza, kuna radio tunaanza. Okay, unaanza. So it's okay. and I heard that the radio was there and all that. But by the way, mind you, I was not resigning at my former NGO to come to radio. I was resigning so that I look for something that was in line with what I wanted.
With what you wanted.
So basically, so Njoroge tells me, okay, I'm doing this. Then I called Njoroge after, I think, after the resign, after a month or so, nikamwambia, I think now I'm more free. Hata kama sitaji commit fully, naweza kuwa nikikuja once in a while. Okay, comes and tells me, you know, I want you to tell me what we can do and all that. Kwanza ilikuwa mvutano na Njoroge. I want this way. I had done some research when he invited me about radio, community radios and all that. So eventually I found myself here.
I actually remember the first day you came. Not the first day I saw her, but the first week you came. Mi nilikuanga mse wa Mahamri.
Remember.
And the guy who used to deliver, you know, mnakunywa chai hapo. And we met, you know, hapo katikati ya hiyo wiki ya kwanza. And I remember ukiniambia, these are very nice. I will, I'm going back to the office. Let me connect with a few guys and then takupea order.
Yes.
You remember?
Yes. So now I started.
So now you have come and you're now at RFM.
So I come, I'm here, new faces, new environment, and
something different,
totally
from
different from what I was
everything you have
doing,
ever done.
But remember, I used to say I would want to be a journalist and all that.
Yes,
so when I shared this with my mom and dad, yes, wananiambia, by the way, I will take it seriously. Inaweza kuwa ni Mungu anakulead to your dream,
Yes.
So and I thank even my wife for supporting this.
Yes.
Remember, I was coming from a point of unknown. I didn't know anything about radio.
Yes.
But one thing I want to thank God about is the era that we are in, the era of technology.
Yes.
I think the first 2 weeks niliingia kwa internet. Proper.
Yes.
Proper kabisa. Nikaangalia mambo community radio specifically. I have friends who are in the media. I called and asked so many questions and I thank God for them. So nikajipata hapa. Now the good thing about NGOs, they have systems and structures.
Yes.
And I've come to realize from my NGO background that nothing, and you've just said it, nothing can work without systems and structures. Even your sole proprietorship. Kale ka shop konako, kama una system na structures, it will not work.
It won't.
So that's one of the things that I found a gap at RFM. And I wanted to bring that experience I had, NGO, to RFM.
Let me pause you right there. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to get a point here that I don't want you to miss this particular point. He came to RFM and he saw a gap in RFM. My question to you is, wherever you are in life, do you see any gap? Do you see a gap in the company you work with? Do you see an answer that you can bring where you are right now? Because this man came in kama mtu wa kawaida, but he saw a need. He saw something that he could answer. And Chris Kirubi once said, not once, 2 weeks ago, he said this. Let me just quote. Alisema, if you want to be wealthy, if you want to be rich, chukua mayai hapo enda uze, you'll be rich. Hiyo ni pesa tu, you just be rich, na kupatia pesa, you are rich. But if you want to be wealthy, look for problems where you can bring solutions. And that is where we are with Mr. Maina.
So I started sharing with Njoroge and namwambia, this can be done this way, this can be done this way. And not only even Njoroge, even the presenter that I met here. Namwambia, if I was you, I can do this this way or that. And I remember one of the things that I learned in the CAK guidelines is that a community radio should have a board. So I told Njoroge, to protect ourselves, we have to have a board. So we started developing the board and all that. So one Saturday meeting, because let me also tell you something. There's power in meetings. And if there is something I told Njoroge, so that we bring cohesion and togetherness amongst our staff, we have to be very serious with our meetings, which he gladly agreed. And I also thank all our staff for agreeing on this, that we meet every now and then, and I have seen a total transformation because of our meetings. Yes. So one Saturday meeting, so we started meeting every Saturday. So one Saturday meeting, Njoroge comes and says, yes, I've come, blah, 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 and I've decided Maina Njenga to be the CEO. It was a shocker. And then he told me, we'll talk later. And he left.
Yes.
I remember he left.
It was on a meeting.
Yes. So later he called me. We had a cup of kahawa somewhere. We really talked. I really wanted to know what are his expectations with that title and with giving me that mandate and all that. So he shared, and that was the first time that I really got Njoroge's vision of RFM.
Let me just say, before that meeting, deep down in my heart, I already saw you, I already saw you being our leader. Nakumbuka hata at some point nilikuwa nafikiria nataka kuuliza Maina hivi, kama nifanye hivi ama nifanye hivi. Inside my heart, before that Saturday meeting. And wow. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you're getting all this, because all this is wisdom. And I told you today's life nuggets is something you're going to base your entire life on. And I hope you're being blessed. Remember, you can get in touch with us on 0745110146. You can give your feedback. Enda pale kwenye YouTube. And you can also comment on that live video that is on right now. All live on Facebook. And let me know, is this a blessing to you? Are you getting anything? And if there's anything, kitu yote inakuguza pale, I want you to take that quote, uiandike hapo kwa comments. We will look for it, because we want to make sure that this man is celebrated the way he should be. Because today, on this segment, it's all about celebrating. And you're listening to this one right here on 99.9 RFM. And this is The Spice Show with me, Uncle Mike the Baker. And today I'm hanging out with the CEO himself, Mr. Stephen Maina Njenga. Tuendelee.
Yeah, and we started doing things.
Yes.
I remember the first thing that we did. We wanted to have a breakfast show. Something else I didn't say is that I love politics and current affairs.
We are coming there. Hapo tunakuja.
And so
we are bisecting one by one.
So that's the first thing that we did. We developed a breakfast morning show.
Yes.
With the Jorogawa Muturi. I remember we brainstormed on the name, the timing, and all that. We came with the name Horaime.
Yes.
With Washira, we were brainstorming there. We called a few people. I remember I called my dad and asked him, what do you think the name of a breakfast morning show would be? And he advised us. And then someone, I don't remember who was that, says, we can call it Horaime. And back, we had the name of Horaime. So, I've been working as a presenter for Horaime, and also being a team lead at RFM, and being a part of RFM.
Yes. And 2 years on, what lessons have you learned along these 2 years?
Wow. Okay, so many lessons, But one thing I would say, Mike, is the first lesson that I've said is, please let passion make money for you.
Let passion make money for you.
If there's a place that I love coming, I love working, and I love being there, is RFM. Despite the challenges that we face.
Yes.
But I love doing what I'm doing. So I'm fulfilled. Compared to other places that I used to work, there's money, but I was not fulfilled. Right now I'm fulfilled. That is lesson number one. Lesson number two, I think for me, there's need. I would say there's need for how do I call it? There's need for leaders to know the beauty of delegation.
There's need for leaders to know the beauty of dedication.
Delegation.
Delegate. Delegation.
Kupatiana kazi, because if there's something I've learned with RFM, amazingly, when you delegate, things are done.
And the burden is eased for you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Number 3 is on one thing I've also learned: the success of any leader is not the profitability of the organization that you're leading, but the number of leaders you make.
One more time. The success of every leader
Yes. Is not the
profitability
of the organization that you're leading, but the number
of leaders
you make. And when I talk about a leader, it's not necessarily to be in an organization. In an organization, it's even about your family. As the father, as the leader, how many leaders are you making in your unit called family?
Yes.
You know, because I've seen that the way I used to work in other places where I was not a leader, and the way we are being treated, and how we work here at RFM is amazingly beautiful.
Wow.
Beautiful. But unfortunately also, when you become a leader, you're at the high pedestal. You know, everyone is looking at you.
Yes.
Any move you make, any action you take, any word you utter, there are only two things. They can work for you or against you.
Against you.
And one of the things I've learned over the last 2 years is the art of making decisions. You have to make decisions.
Yes.
Whether they will favor you or not, but for the well-being of the larger picture.
Yes.
And yes, sometimes in the management we have made decisions and we ask ourselves, what are the pro and cons? So those are some of the few lessons I've learned. I also have learned the power of teamwork, and I've realized that anything that you'd want to do, Mike, anything that you'd want to do,
yes,
provided you put God in the steering wheel, it is possible.
Wow.
Yes, it is possible. My mom listens to my show. And one day she asked me, Magatheti masio makarago mandikite na Gikuyu. And I remember the first day I could really stammer, but for now it's an art. It's in me. I can be able to interpret even as I read in English. I'm able to give out the words in Kikuyu. So anything that you think you can do, provided you put God in the mix, umetoboa.
Wow.
And there's some words I told my friend yesterday who wants to do pastry, like kupika keki. And I'm saying, mimi shule kurudi. Na anything that you want to do, uko na internet, uko na people to ask and all that. Provided you put God in the picture, you got it.
Wow. 2 years. Just 2 years. You have had the journey, you've had the lessons, 2-year lessons. And let me tell you, those lessons hadi hapo is something you can live. I can draw from that and live for the rest of my life na hiyo tu lesson ya miaka mbili. Wow, that is so deep. And now you've been on air as a presenter.
Yes.
Every weekday morning from 7 to 10. And unajua ukiwa mdosi unaweza chelewa kidogo. Unaweza kuja saa 2 ukiwa mdosi. By the I think Ricky one ile siku when I grow up I want to be a boss. Hata mimi ni kujaga hiyo basa. But one thing I'm so glad that you said about creating other leaders, because even in your own show you're creating a leader in your co-host that even when you're not there the show goes on.
Exactly.
That is powerful, man. Thanks, Manze. And so now here we are. We've been on air for the last 2 years. I just want to know, what are some of the worst moments you've had on air? No, we are not talking about. We are talking on air.
Yeah.
Ndio nijue kama nafanya makosa the
Okay, my worst. Let me start with my worst. 2 times nimepiga show. Nikijiongelesha tu kwa studio. Why? Because maybe steamer may roast, and then I didn't remember to put on the nini for the transmitter.
stima zilipotea zikarudi, alafu ulikuwa umezima transmitter and you never put it on.
Hata sibi nilizima, unajua sasa stima zikipotea zimepotea, transmitter imezima and all that and then when lights are on because nilikuwa ile cycle muziki ya FM kitu zinapeleka na ke kumbe ni mimi najiongelesha huko kwa nini. And I remember one listener call. Kasema Rameta boy tutaigwa. And then I was like, no, maybe it's your radio. Yeah, and I did a show.
A full show.
4-hour show.
A full show for 4 hours ukijiongelesha.
Unajua
funny thing when you're here kama saizi it's very tricky. It's very hard to know kama uko on air ama uko off air because transmitter haiko hapa.
So I think that was one of my worst moments, but I loved it because now even song ikiimba hapa, if I want to take a cup of or a glass of water, when naangalia kama bado which I was not doing anyway before. And of course now we have mechanism to know when you are on air, maybe I mean when you are transmitted outside or not. So and that was also brought because of the mistake that I really don't. I'm looking for another maybe worst moment that I've ever had. Maybe nikikumbuka ndakwambia.
All right. We have to go on a short break. Get to listen to a song here. Tupate inaitangwa nini, Mswale Mdoyo anasemanga nini la maji, kopo la maji. Alafu tutarudi. And today I'm speaking with RFM CEO, radio presenter. By the SG kuna mahali nilikosa kuandika radio presenter. I think for me you are on that side more than you are on this side. If you're just watching us on Facebook and on YouTube, when I point that side means pale ndio ofisi ya management iko. Sawa. So we want to get to a song here and then we'll be right back. And I want to play a song here that is talking about faith. And this song is done by a guy called Manolo. He comes in right now with the song Faith Anthem, because for us even to be here 2 years later, it has to be faith. And this is only what God can do. Manolo, Faith Anthem, twende kazi.
Manolo, one time, 2 times.
Check it day on the beat.
Kile minataka tu, sema kitafanyika. Kile minataka tu, kisema kitafanyika. Baba neno moja tu, sema kitafanyika. Baba neno moja tu, sema kitafanyika. Alitaka tu, ulisema kikafanyika. Kile Abrahamu alitaka tu, ulisema kikafanyika. Nataka uponyaji, imani kwa aweza yatawanya maji. Mimi nataka munijibu swali, akifungua mlango wa kufunga